think before the development, to be honest, I didn't really know a lot about soil. I didn't have a great understanding. I think I knew that it was important somehow, but I didn't really understand why or how it was so important to us. And the conversations we've had over the last few days as part of the development have been so fascinating and interesting, and I feel like we could actually talk about soil for ages.
When I started thinking about soil as alive, I think it was like my whole world changed. All these different soils that are as unique from each other as humans are from each other, and they're alive. They're as alive as we are too.
If I'm honest, I really never thought about soil before. Whenever I dug the garden, I live in a tenement in Glasgow, and I try and keep on top of the garden because it's a nice south-facing place. So I started doing that about 4 or 5 years ago, and I guess when I started digging, I thought, I wonder if this is good soil. And I think in my 43 years, that's the only time I've ever thought about soil.
I suppose I thought, I still thought of soil as sort of quite unsexy.
I grew up in Thurso and Caithness, and so when I was a kid I remember travelling past peat fields and going up the west coast past the flow country and knowing a little bit about it, knowing it was there, kind of knowing it was important but not really knowing why. And I think today, after 3 days development, and especially after speaking to Willie Towers, who is such an expert on soil, I really now understand why it's important for the future.
As an outdoor enthusiast in my spare time, I've always had a love for the earth and an affinity towards the ground under my feet, without ever really understanding why. And I've always been quite passive about what the earth can do for us and how important it is. What this digging deeper development has done is really increased my awareness of what the soil is and how complex it can be and how important it is to sustaining us as humans and sustaining all animal life on the planet.
I think I realise now just how important soil is to us. I think two things I didn't really know that I'm taking away are that how soil could be a carbon trap and how important that is for us and for climate change, but also that soil is a living thing.
The soil breathes. It breathes the same way that we do, and we have to respect it. And that's an image that I'll definitely have in my head now. When I'm looking out onto a landscape, I'll be thinking about the soil breathing.
I play the character, I was asked to read for the character of Pete, who is Pete. And it was a fascinating challenge.
Particularly the idea that Pete's a story keeper. He holds all our stories, all the things that have ever happened during his existence are stored in him. A little bit mirroring like how Pete stores carbon, our Pete stores stories. Everything that he remembers, layer by layer through time. And the idea that if he is well looked after, if he's cared for, those stories will always be safe. And maybe he'll even tell you some of them if you listen to him.
Tom's plight in wanting to do the right thing by the soil and lead the way in terms of more sustainable ways of farming land, more sustainable land use, but at the same time it being a huge amount for him to shoulder personally.
I will think about soil a lot more, and I'm not just saying that. It is fascinating to think about how peat, about how all the soil in the world has such an effect on the climate and on the way we live.
I really feel that moving forward I'm going to definitely be more aware and more sympathetic towards the earth and the ground and the soil.
Keep educating, keep finding out, keep digging deeper, not to get too cheesy, but you know, the name of the project is very well chosen because we all need to dig deeper.
Soil cannot be divorced from us, the humans. And perhaps, you know, it really does take the naivety but also the imagination of a young child, a young girl, to bring us down to earth.
Mind blown, if I'm honest, because I guess if you said you were involved in an audio drama or this is a drama about soil, I guarantee that the majority of people would probably go, oh right, interesting. But it really is interesting. It really, really is interesting, and I think this play, this audio drama, is a real chance for people to be entertained and informed, as I have been throughout the development. Cheers.